What is good, YouTube? It's your boy AshtonRoyale, and today I'm going to be showing you guys it's here. And I'm back. So today this video is going to be talking about why I made the big switch from Canon to what's inside this box. So let's get the camera out of here. Ain't she a beauty? So if you haven't seen from the title already, I've made the big switch from Canon to Sony. I can already tell that recording this video is about to be so annoying because I'm using daylight and the clouds keep going in front of the sun. So it's like I get the perfect lighting and then I get overexposed in the perfect lighting, but let's continue. So yes, I copped the Sony A7III. I've been wanting this camera ever since Sony debuted it, basically in the summertime, and it's been sold out ever since then. Now everything I say in this video and the reason why I bought this camera is my personal reasons. The reason why I say this because I feel like there's a whole brand war going on and you got to choose your side. There's the whole Canon versus Sony versus Nikon and Fujifilm and all that, but I feel like too many people are really into this brand loyalty thing rather than the tool that gets the job done. With that being said, when I first wanted to get into photography, the first camera I ever held was a Nikon. So instantly it was like a first love. So I always wanted a Nikon camera, and I remember the first Nikon camera I wanted was, I think, the D5300. And now thinking about it, I feel so stupid because I wanted it in red. And as time went on, some of the friends that I hang out with and some of the people I associated myself with all shot on Canon. I always tried to figure out why Canon. And then I slowly started to understand. Canon absolutely has the best color science. Canon L glass, even though it's very expensive glass, Canon L glass is by far some of the best glass ever made. It's unspeakable, untouchable. It's great. And this is me speaking from personal experience. I own a Canon camera, so I can't speak about Nikon or Fuji or any other. I'm just speaking solely upon Canon. We all know Canon is up to date on their technology. With that being said, they could put 4K into any of their cameras. They could put 120 into any of their cameras, but they choose not to. And this is my problem with that. I feel like Canon offers you little things because they want you to buy the more expensive camera that holds all the best features. Which as a company, that's not a bad strategy at all, but as a consumer, that's horrible. My first Canon camera I got, and it's actually the Canon camera I'm recording off right now, is the T6i. When I first bought this camera, I absolutely loved it, everything about it. I'm just a content creator, meaning I do videography and I do photography, but for the sole purpose of my enjoyment. And it's nice to get paid every once in a while, you know. But for my personal reasons of buying a camera, Canon just wasn't it. It wasn't it, chief. It wasn't it. And this was. Everything that I wanted was in this camera for a very decent price, which is the reason why it sold out so fast, because Sony has given us a tool for a decent price point that everything in here is what everybody wants, except articulating screens. Sony, give us the articulating screen. The last two great cameras that Canon actually made, in my opinion, was the 1DX Mark II and the 5D Mark IV. Other than that, Canon has been like sprinkling, hey, new technology in this camera, hey, new technology in this camera, and it's just, it ain't it, chief, it ain't it. So that's the reason why I moved on to Sony. And if that's not enough to convince you guys that these camera companies are just playing with us, when this dropped, internet went wild. Everybody was talking about this camera, basically this camera being the best camera of 2018. Since then, what has Canon and Nikon done? Dropped two mirrorless cameras with great features. The Nikon, I feel like being better than the Canon, but the A7 III being better than all of them. And this is my personal answer. And even with, like I said before, with the whole brand loyalty thing, it wasn't even the whole brand loyalty thing. It's a tool to help us create. So why not get the best tool? My Canon T6i. Reasons I love it: lightweight, articulating screen, and it's a very great camera to start out with if you're just beginning photography or videography. And a decent price point. Very decent price point. But like all things, you start to grow apart. And I started to grow apart from this camera once I started learning videography and cinematography. One key thing being, it didn't shoot in 60 frames per second unless you go to 720p. So that means I'm losing quality to go 60 frames per second to get slow motion. So as time went on, it started to get annoying because for me to record slow motion, I would have to record it off my iPhone, or I'll just throw the camera in 1080 24 frames per second, use a pan head and go as slow as possible, and then get all the camera shake out in post. For the most part, I'm not going to get too technical. If you're a content creator, you will know what Canon's Rebel line holds against Sony's Alpha line. So with that being said, it's really not much to talk about. Also, with that being said, I wanted a full frame camera. I didn't want the full frame glass price point that came with a full frame camera, but I still wanted a full frame camera. The reason why I wanted a full frame camera is because with a full frame camera, you have more dynamic range. And another thing is, basically, when I bought my Canon, I only bought a kit lens and a 50mm. The infamous nifty 50 that every content creator should have is definitely the Canon 50mm 1.8 STM lens. It's cheap. I wouldn't say it's cheap, kind of cheaply made. Whoa. For the price point, you get a lot of bang for the buck, basically. So if you know about crop sensors, it basically crops to like a 1.5. So a 50 actually is damn near a 80. So with that being said, I record in my room. I don't really have a lot of space. So right now, I'm using the kit lens, which is at a 35, which is kind of perfect, right? When I used to put the 50 on, it used to zoom like damn near here, because it was like an 80. I don't have that much space in my room to be dealing with 80mm, you know what I mean? But then since I'm working with full frame now, I bought a 50 for the A7III, and it actually gave me the perfect focal length for recording in my room. So actually, I'm done recording on this Canon. Let's go to the Sony. And I'm back recording on the new A7III, boy. One thing I hate about this camera, I'm not even gonna front with you guys, yo, Sony is on that bullshit. Why is it so hard? Why? Why is this so hard? I don't understand. Why? Y'all have the screen where it come out like this, right? It do one of these. Why I can't do one of these? This is all we want. But all jokes aside, other than that, I'm strictly in love with this camera. I worked so hard to get this camera. That's another thing. Like, I worked hard to get this camera. And then when it was finally able to be purchased, because it just kept selling out, I had to buy it. I just had to buy it. The things I love about this camera is it's mirrorless, meaning I don't have to carry around something this big anymore. Like when I bought my camera bag, I had this in mind, right? So I bought a decent sized camera bag, but it was basically to fit this and all the gear that came with this. When I put my A7 in the bag, my A7 was moving around. You know what I mean? Because it's so small compared to this. Another thing I love is the EVF, which is electronic viewfinder. When you shoot with this, it's a mirror camera. So your picture bounces off the mirror and goes into your viewfinder. With a mirrorless camera, there is no mirror. So what you see is what you get. So if something is underexposed or overly exposed, you can see it. And the best part is you can even have your graph on your viewfinder so you can see what type of light you need for the perfect shot. Another thing I love about the camera is I can do slow motion on it at 120 frames on 1080p. And I can shoot 4K at 30p and 24p. I wish I could get 4K with 60 frames per second. Oh my God, that would look so buttery smooth. Not as buttery as 120 though. Bro, this son is playing peekaboo with me. Oh my God, this son is playing peekaboo with me. But being for real, the reason I really went with Sony is because Sony offers basically great features on all their cameras for different price points. Like if you don't want a full frame, the A6300 is a outstanding camera. The only thing about it is it overheats. So if you are like kind of like on the fence about the overheating thing, you would just get the A6500. But those cameras literally are as good as even the full frame camera. And that's honestly how it should be. Like I said before, it's not about brand loyalty, it's about the tool that gets the job done. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, if you're with the whole brand loyalty thing, sometimes you really miss out on things, you know? But if you're about getting the job done, you have to move forward. And that's really about anything in life. Like you can't always hold on to the things that make you feel like you're comfortable. You gotta, you know, be pushed over the edge and take a chance with life. Oh, pause. I don't want to get too serious in this video. But overall, that's the reason why I switched from Canon to Sony. Canon is still a great company. I love everything that Canon does. Like I said, their glass is amazing. And speaking of glass, one thing I don't like about Sony, y'all glass is too expensive. I feel like I'm making this video too long and it's dragging out, but it's your boy AshtonRoyale. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below and smack the hell. I said smack and I'm punching my fist. Smack that like button if you're into that. And more videos coming soon. It's your boy AshtonRoyale and I'm signing out. Peace.